talk about.
When you go on the road, you have to really match energy. You have to be at 50%, this better, 15 points better, and each one out. It just looked like from the beginning, their energy was terrific.
Yeah, well, I think you can feed off, obviously, making shots. And when they were able to do that, they were a really good team. The thing I talked about a lot with Ohio State, anytime you have a lot of talent, I don't think you get credit for your toughness and your ability to play. And people kind of look at the underachieving teams maybe have a little bit less talent and give them that credit. But Ohio State's got a lot of toughness. They have experience. And they're a good defensive team. They're a very good defensive team, and they showed it tonight. They got good size. I love Aaron Kraft out at the bench for him before he started. He's tough. And I talked to our guys and I explained to him how he can move laterally and how he was like Chris Kramer defensively, better offensively, but very similar to him in terms of moving his feet and having that toughness and just great when you look at Sean Thomas and what he can do. They have a lot of talent, but I'm impressed with their toughness and I'm impressed with their ability to defend. And that's tonight. They made shots. But that's what won the game for them. They just flat got into us and took our ball from us all times, and they were ready to play.
Maybe especially early, the way they defend you guys looked like getting looks for Jawan. It looked like it was a lot harder than they.
Yeah, and obviously it ends up 23, but we got 5 or 6 calls in the second half, kind of some mercy calls. That really should have been about 30, 40 points. And they were great. When that happens, that snowball happens in the first half. You have a great big guy. You can't forget about it. And, we just got impatient. We shot bad shots. We shot shots quick early in the shot clock. And you just have to have more patience. You got to let him touch it. And I think when they get it going, it doesn't matter if someone. They got it going today, so it doesn't matter. But when it gets, when they struggle or it gets close in the game, that ball's going to Sullinger. And that's experience. And that has nothing to do with Sullinger. That has to do with Leidy. It has to do with Diebler. It has to do with, Aaron Kraft kind of being mature as a freshman. And that's smart. And when we got things going, we understand that. At times when we get frustrated or we get down or we get in a rut, we shoot too many perimeter shots. And we just don't show that patience. And we kind of forget, who's on our team.
As a coach, do you want this to take the tape and just burn it, or do you take something from it?
I'd like to. I think you can take something from it, but there's no doubt, about it. At times you burn a tape like this, but you also gotta, let them see it too, because if you don't let them see it, it might happen to you, and you got to be hooked up. And it is one loss, it is one loss, but you have to learn from some of the mistakes. You just can't allow a great team like that to get it going. And we allowed them to get their heads up, and we had to disrupt what they were doing, and it was just an easy flow from them.
You still really looking for a third guy? Box scores that Jawan got his, and each one got his. You really looking still for that consistent third, fourth?
Well, I've not put too much stock in it. I put more stock in trying to get everybody to play good defense, take care of the basketball, and rebound. If you do those things right there, we can compete with a lot of people. We can beat a lot of people. But when you don't do those things there, you're not gonna get too far. But the other guys, Lewis Jackson, had a good game. He had 19 points against Michigan State. He's had some other games. Ryan Smith's had some nice games, but you would like to have that next guy be, a little bit more of a consistent scorer. But I don't think it's the major issue. The major issue, in my opinion, was competing. I thought Ohio State did a great job with that.
You guys usually bring the determination again.
Right.
Did you feel like that was just lacking today?
It was lacking. You don't want to take anything away from Ohio State. I just thought they were ready to play. They were ready to roll. But how can't you play hard, against the #1 team in the country? How can't you, be ready to go? And lack of better words, they just stole our spirit.
Matt, you saw them last year when they had the #1 player, National Player of the Year. They didn't get the #1 with him. They're #1 without him. Can you venture an explanation why?
I think, obviously, when you grow into like the #1, I don't think it's fair because Evan Turner was hurt. So they start the Big Ten season without him, and they're 1-3. And so, if he is healthy, they're not 1-3, and they can grow. It's really not that important. But what's important is what that seed is and where you're going and who you're playing in the matchups in the tournament. And they're a possession away. from being in the Elite Eight, it's just a possession. You know, they got beat by Tennessee, right? Got my game right?
Yep.
Yeah. I'm not losing. Sometimes when you lose yourself, that's very tough. But I don't think ranking is that important. But seeds are.
I was just getting more to how, are they different and more difficult to defend now? Is there a reason why?
You know, we held Evan Turner to 60 points in 2 games. I don't have the answer. Jared Sellinger's a good player. I played with Glenn Robinson. I saw a lot of guys throw guys out of bounds, and we were just kind of like, you know, I don't think there's just one way to defend a guy like that. When you put shooters around him, you know, you have that kind of skill, that kind of maturity from those other guys. So, but it's tough. You know, Evan Turner was a tough guy to defend. Sullinger's a tough guy to defend. But the thing that Thad's done a great job with, he's had to adjust. He's had some guys leave after 1 year, and he's had to adjust. And I still think he finally got caught up in my conduct. That's the one area now he has that right now, in my opinion, and Aaron Craft. You know, Evan was a guy that was going for his, and rightfully so, was breaking people down. But I just think they have a great mix of guys. I thought they had a great mix last year, but with Sullinger and his unselfishness, I mean, that is tough. That is tough to defend, especially on long rotations.
Yeah, you obviously knew these guys could shoot. How much of what they did tonight was on Purdue? How much of it was just kind of one of those nights where they're shooting?
I think a couple of the plays early were better than us. We had a couple of times in transition where we didn't stop the basketball. They had to have some trouble handoffs in transition. We just didn't switch out. But a lot of it, you know, it's all situational. They did a good job. They did a good job moving the basketball. We wanted to give them a couple of different looks, and then playing the half court, we never really got that from.
Coach, you opened the door with the comment statement. How does this Ohio State team compare to that 2007 Ohio State team, in your opinion?
You know, they had good skill, obviously, you know, with Greg Oden. Obviously, Mike was a guy that could break you down with ball screen action. They did more ball screen action with that group than they do with this group, even though they do it at times. You know, they had shooters. They had a guy in the first round come off the bench. So that's pretty good when you got first rounders in that year. Sometimes you don't have even 2-3 years later. In that year, they had a guy come off the bench on that track. So it kind of says something about the talent and their skill. Greg was a different guy. How you had to trap him and how you had to do things. But, you know, Sullinger is just, he's a weapon. You know, he can make the 18-footer, he can drive the basketball, he can pass out of it, he can score the block. He's always a threat. You know, and you had to just, you know, it's a little bit different. We had a guy named Carl Landry that he gave people kind of those matchup problems like that. Sullinger's just so poised. Carl didn't quite have that poise at that age. Carl's an older guy who played with the junior college. One more question.
Matt, is this a pick your poison kind of team? You double Jared at your own risk, sort of?
I think it's where the ball goes in from. You got to be smart with it, and if it's too far out, you know, you got to stay home. Then you got to be able to have somebody guard you one-on-one. Early, you know, we were okay with it for a couple times, but we just, you know, we let those threes keep going. Obviously, I don't think there's an absolute how to defend them. I think you got to mix some things up, give them different looks. You got to be able to get into it. And get pressure and disrupt what they're trying to do. If you don't, you just allow them to flow, they're going to pick you apart. At times, tonight, they just missed.
I got one more thing. You got them coming to your place later on in the year. Excited about that, and what's that going to say about your team?
Well, I think that's what it's one of those things where you guys in the locker room, I told them, I said, this wasn't a strategy game. This was competing. And so we're going to see. And the thing, you know, at Purdue, I just said, you got to play hard. You got to lay it on the line. You got to be blue collar. And tonight we won. So, you know, we'll see where we stand when they come back.
Thank you.
Thanks.